You're welcome on Learning with L&R, and today we are going to discuss about the new topic, that is congestive heart failure. And before that we are going to discuss about the what is heart. Heart is the central pump of the cardiovascular system, which consists of four chambers, two arteria, two atrium, right atrium and left atrium, two ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle, and there are four valves, two arterioventricular valves, that is tricuspid valve and mitral valve, two semilunar valve, that is aortic valve and pulmonary valve. There is normal circulation of blood. As you know, the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava receive blood from the body, that is deoxygenated blood, and it is pour into the right atrium with the help of tricuspid valve. It move into the right ventricle, and from there the pulmonary artery take blood and give into the lungs. From here it give carbon dioxide to the lungs, and lungs give oxygen to the blood, and with the help of pulmonary vein, blood again reached up to the level of right atrium, and from the right atrium, left ventricle with the help of mitral valve, and after that aorta receive the blood to give into the systemic circulation for the whole body. I hope you have clear with this. Then blood flow from the heart. There are two type of flow, systole and diastole. But what is systole? During ventricular systole, blood is pumped into the circulation. When the blood go into the circulation, that is systole. And diastole, when the heart receive blood from the body, that is the diastole. Then the cardiac output. Cardiac output is the blood flow generated by ventricles per minute, and it depends on two parameters, that is stroke volume and heart rate. Stroke volume is the volume, that is the volume of the blood pumped by ventricle per beat, and heart rate the number of beats per minute. And normally the stroke volume about 70 ml and heart rate 72 ml. We have to take here the heart rate about 70, and how we calculate the cardiac output. Cardiac output is equal to stroke volume. In 1 beat stroke volume is 70 and heart rate 70. Okay, 70 multiplied by 70, I think it is approximately 4900 to 5000, and you know 5000 ml. Okay, and 1000 ml is equal to 1 liter. That's why 5000 ml is equal to 5 liter, and the cardiac output, that is 5 liter per minute. Okay, I hope you understand this. And factor affecting cardiac performance, that is cardiac output depend on stroke volume and heart rate. What is stroke volume? Is depend on three important factor. Preload, when the heart receive blood from the body, deoxygenated blood when it receive, and afterload when the blood pumped into the next level. Then contractility, when heart contract to push blood to the next level. Okay, the preload, volume of blood received by the heart. Basically preload is stretch, the amount of volume being returned to the heart, and afterload, pressure or resistance the heart has to overcome to eject blood. And afterload is squeezing, actually it's contractility. Okay, then the next is heart failure, that is our topic today. Congestive heart failure, when as the pathophysiologic state in which the heart is unable to pump blood according to the requirement of the body. Okay, then heart failure, when the heart cannot deliver adequate cardiac output to meet the metabolic needs of the body, that is heart failure. And factor affecting cardiac performance. Cardiac performance or cardiac output depends on stroke volume and heart rate. Then the next is preload. Preload is the when the ventricle receive blood, and it happened in conditions. Normally it is okay, but there are some conditions where we think that it affects our cardiac output, that is ventricular defect and the problem related to valve. Then afterload is the resistance or pressure against which the heart must pump blood, and normally it do this, but in conditions where is worse, that is aortic stenosis, pulmonary stenosis and coarctation of aorta. Then contractility Contractility, cardiac performance independent of preload or afterload. It is not depend on preload or afterload. Contractility when heart contract to push the blood. Then next is compensatory mechanisms in heart failure. Cardiac compensation, increased heart rate and cardiac contractility. Then cardiac dilatation. Cardiac dilatation means the Frank-Starling mechanism. It is the relationship between the stroke volume and diastolic volume. Diastolic volume when heart receive blood from the body. Then myocardial hypertrophy, when myocardium layer and become large than normal. Then systemic compensation, increase the blood volume, redistribution of blood flow, and increase erythrocytes, increase red blood cell, increased ability to tissues to utilize oxygen because there is more RBS, red blood cell, more RBC, red blood cell, and there is more oxygen. That's why increased ability of tissues to utilize oxygen. Then neurohormonal compensation, sympathetic nervous system command the body to respond the stressful situation. And renin-angiotensin system is a hormone. It is a hormone regulate blood pressure and fluid electrolyte balance. Then arterial natriuretic peptide, it is also the hormone, and it helps to lower the BP in condition when BP is high. Then endothelin is also hormone, and it constricts the vessels and raise the blood pressure when needed. Okay. Then the next is etiology of heart failure. There are according to the age group. First one is fetus, severe, when the fetus suffering from severe anemia. Fetus actually when the age fetus is baby is not born, it is related with the mother and baby. Severe anemia. Then supraventricular tachycardia, ventricular tachycardia, and complete heart block before birth. Then premature neonate born before the completion of the time. Fluid overload, PTA and VST might be there. Then full term neonate, asphyxial cardiomyopathy, left-sided obstructive lesion, transposition of great arteries, viral myocarditis, anemia, supraventricular tachycardia, complete heart block. And in case of infant and toddler, left to right cardiac shunting, then metabolic cardiomyopathy, acute hypertension, supraventricular tachycardia, Kawasaki disease. Then child to adolescent, rheumatic fever, viral myocarditis, endocarditis, arrhythmias, cardiomyopathy, then acute hypertension, then thyrotoxicosis, cor pulmonale, chronic upper airway obstruction. It means the child suffering from any kind of congenital heart disease, he may or may not be suffering from congestive heart failure. Depends the severity of their congenital disease. Then etiology of heart failure. In the first weeks of life, congestive heart failure is most commonly due to an excessive afterload being placed on the myocardium. There are more pressure on the heart muscles, myocardium muscles. Then CHF presenting around 2 months of age is usually due to increasing left to right shunting. Because of that, there are more pressure on the pulmonary because the left area push the blood into the right side. Then acquired heart disease which occur after the birth due to any reason. Then classification of heart failure according to the course of disease. Acute heart failure when disease start to happen, and chronic when it take more worse condition. Okay, according to the cardiac output, low output heart failure due to volume overload, pressure overload, and contractility problem, and high output heart failure. Then next is according to the location, left side heart failure, right side heart failure, both, or according to the function, systolic failure or diastolic failure. Then clinical manifestations. Clinical presentation of CHF in infant include poor feeding, Failure to thrive means the child not grow according to the age and appropriate growth are not present in the child. Tachypnea, then diaphoresis, sweating, abnormal sweating are there with feeding, and older children may present with shortness of breath, easy fatigability and edema. Fatigability, feel tiredness. The physical examination findings depend on whether pulmonary venous congestion, systemic venous congestion or both are present. Tachycardia, a gallop rhythm, it is abnormal sound like murmur, and steady pulses may be present with either cause. If left-sided failure is predominant, tachypnea, orthopnea, wheezing and pulmonary edema are seen. If right-sided failure is present, hepatomegaly, edema and distended neck veins are present there. Then the findings, amazing studies. Chest X-ray, cardiomegaly, the heart size is enlarged than normal. ECG shows arrhythmia. Then echocardiogram assess the heart chamber sizes, measure myocardial function accurately, and diagnosis congenital heart defects when if present. Okay. Then treatment principles, correct the underlying causes of heart failure with diet, low salt and high calorie diet. Digitalis, improve the cardiac contractility. Diuretics to reduce preload. Which kind of diuretics given to the patient? That is furosemide. Dilators, reduce afterload, ACE. Then remember 4D. Which kind of diet? Digitalis, diuretics and dilators. Then next is treatment of heart failure. General care, rest so that reduce the cardiac output. Then oxygen, improve oxygenation in presence of pulmonary edema. Sodium and fluid restriction, decrease vascular congestion, decreases preload. Other treatment of underlying causes, closure of defect like ASD or VSD, transplantation, removes diseased heart. Then the diuretics, reducing preload. Furosemide, salt excretion by ascending loop of Henle, reduces preload. Spironolactone, potassium sparing diuretics. Then inotropic agent, digitalis, inhibits membrane, sodium, potassium, ATP, etc. Then dopamine, releases myocardial norepinephrine plus direct effect on beta receptor. Then next is afterload reduction, hydralazine, arterial vasodilator, nitroprusside, arterial or venous relaxation vasodilator, venodilator reduces. Then captopril, inhibition of angiotensin converting enzyme, reduces angiotensin 2 production. Thank you very much. I hope you have clear with this topic. If you feel any kind of problem, kindly inform me. I'll